Hey everyone, welcome to Crypto Data. So it's actually been a great week for Bitcoin. For my last video, I was mentioning the rise in Bitcoin is due to the upcoming gold, the hard fork coming for Bitcoin Gold. So if you haven't seen that video, go and watch that video. But basically, a lot of people are buying Bitcoin because if you hold it on October 25th, the day of the hard fork, you're going to also get some Bitcoin Gold if the exchange you're on supports it. So we've seen this rise, all the way to 5,900, and recently it's had a retracement. So again, if you're holding it, I recommend definitely taking some profits, and just being cautious because it has had a huge run up in the past couple days. So just keep an eye on that, but it is, good for publicity. And, later on in the video, I'll show you some news outlets that have actually started mentioning Bitcoin more and more, and we're getting more into the mainstream media. So with that, I just want to talk about some altcoins that I was looking at, mainly XRP. For those who don't know, XRP is Ripple. They're the third largest market cap for cryptocurrencies, and they are basically, they deal with financial transactions. So speeding up financial transactions between banks, lowering the transaction costs, and just making the whole process smoother. They actually have over 100 companies right now on their RippleNet. Their new exchange, you could say that they're creating to finance these transactions and to facilitate them. So they've been working on a couple big things, and the reason I'm mentioning Ripple is because they have a conference coming up. Their recent conference right now, it's called the Ripple Swell conference. So it's actually a conference held in Toronto, Canada on October 16th through the 18th. So it's actually starting tomorrow. And one of the biggest things with that, as far as having a lot of people there, there's actually three main people that are going to be there that have turned some heads. So one of the main people that are going to be there, we have Dr. Ben Bernanke. And if you don't know, he was the previous chairman of the Federal Reserve for the U.S. from 2006 to 2014. So that in itself is huge because he dealt with a lot of financial transactions. He was in charge of a lot of, basically all of the money that was coming in and out, and basically allocating funds and of that sort. So he knows what he's talking about, and he has a lot of pull with a lot of people. So for him to be here is saying, something big. As well as we have Sir Tim Berners-Lee, which he is the inventor of the World Wide Web. So having him there as well tells you, the World Wide Web in itself was ahead of its time, and it was, new technology that people were still, they weren't fully invested in, but, they knew it was big. So he believes in it, and he brought it to life. And now if he's going to be at this Ripple conference, he sees the same thing with Ripple. He sees the technology's there, the future's there, and there's going to be a lot of opportunity for that. So having these two people here is, saying big, as well as there's going to be some more following speakers, which we have the CEO of Ripple, the CTO of Ripple, and then we also have, the managing director of APAC MENA, we have the CIO of Axis Bank, we have all these CEOs and COOs of these companies, and it's, they're really trying to get Ripple out there to the mainstream. So it says this event is an invitation-only event. So, they're going to have some important people there, basically people that have a lot of pull in the markets. And it's going to be something that I think is going to be huge. So that is something I'm looking forward to in the next couple days, and to see exactly, how the conference goes and what else we can look forward to in the future. So with that, I want to touch upon a couple things. So currently, Ripple's Twitter has over 159,000 followers, so it's definitely noticed by a lot of big names. It's no basically stranger to the mainstream. People know about it. There's more and more people talking every day, and for it to have 159,000 followers, I think that's one of the most out of any of the cryptocurrencies. So that's something big in itself. And again, they've actually talked about their Swell conference 43 minutes ago. They talked about, a quick refresher on it. And it was actually this new article. This one is October 15th. So just there's an update from the previous one I just showed, which was August 24th. So this one, it tells you that, it brings the leaders in banking and blockchain technology together in a 3-day confab. Now, So they talked about the Dr. Ben Bernanke and then Sir Tim Berners-Lee. And then on day 3, a lot of people don't know about this guy, Don Tapscott, which he's the renowned co-author of The Blockchain Revolution, will uncover a set of solutions that will transform the financial industry for the better in his keynote speech. So for Don Tapscott, people who don't know, this is his LinkedIn. And so he's CEO of the Tapscott Group. And one of the quotes he put is, he's having given the closing keynote to Sibos in 2008, 2 days after Lehman Brothers fell, I identify a number of deep problems with the financial system. 9 years later, in my keynote to Swell, I'll be laying out a set of solutions to transform the industry for the 21st century. So, I mean, that comment in itself, as you know, in the financial collapse in the U.S. in 2008, that was devastating. Basically, you know, a lot of companies went bankrupt. There's a lot of shady things going on, and it just collapsed the whole financial market. And we had the global recession, you know, for the U.S. and it brought a lot of markets down. And basically, what this guy is saying is he gave a closing keynote to Sibos in 2008, and he basically identified why the market collapsed, what problems it was having, and exactly how to control that for the future. So if he's looking into Ripple and seeing that as a prominent figure for the future of financial success, then that's saying something big in itself. So that's definitely, this guy is definitely, you know, an important person. He knows his stuff, and I believe he's going to come up with some great solutions and be able to implement Ripple into that and show how Ripple can help achieve that success. So he's basically, you know, he's definitely an important figure, and he's and we can see here it's for the conference, it says 10,000 of the world's most powerful bankers will assemble here in Toronto from the 16th to the 19th for the annual Sibos Congress. And so that's saying, you know, they also have a meeting, and if he's talking at it, you know, Ripple's going to get into a lot of people's basically their space, and it's going to be showing them, you know, exactly what Ripple can do for them, and he's going to be able to spread that message and bring it out to the mainstream. So this was huge. So for those who don't know, you know, this guy's another prominent figure for the conference. And then also it talks about him. And then another thing that people may not know about is I believe Vitalik Buterin is going to be there, the CEO of Ethereum. So it says Swell will also have a few sessions, one in particular called the Future of Blockchain, where Ripple, Ethereum, Chain, and Hyperledger will take the stage to not only discuss the future of this technology, but also potential debate divergent ideologies on digital assets. So basically, they're just, you know, they're not going to shy away from any of the topics. They're really going to find out what's the problem and how to bring cryptocurrencies to the forefront. So I believe, you know, to have all these big names there, that in itself should be a reason for excitement, why I'm bullish on Ripple right now. So a couple more articles real quick I just want to cover. Basically, October 14th, a couple days ago, or yesterday actually, a Delaware judge throws out case against blockchain-based payment Ripple network. Basically, they were in talks, Ripple was in talks with another company, R3, and basically R3 Consortium was a company dealing with Ripple, and they were a startup servicing bank and financial institution, and they had a purchasing agreement with Ripple, but really they didn't finalize that, and they didn't, you know, really push that when Ripple was, you know, with not even a penny. But as Ripple's grown, then the company has said, hey, I want to, you know, exercise this option. And Ripple basically said, you know, you're only exercising this option because the company's soared more than 30 times over. So they were doing that, you know, just almost because they just saw the rise in Ripple, and they saw, you know, how big it was getting, and they wanted a piece of the pie. So the judge that was covering this case said, no, you know, you just can't do that. And they basically threw out the case against Ripple. So that was big. It got it in the mainstream. Again, you know, it's positive news. Ripple won that case. And it just shows you, you know, they have a lot going for them, and they have a lot of companies trying to take some of their profit. So I think that was pretty big. A couple people were talking about that, as well as I was mentioning their RippleNet network. And basically it says Ripple has over 100 clients as mainstream finance warms to blockchain. So they have some big name clients such as Santander, Unicredit, UBS, and Standard Chartered. And then also institution Qualix will be the first to use its cryptocurrency XRP. So this article was published October 10th, which is 5 days ago, and it's saying Qualix is one of Ripple's new corporate customers. It's a Mexican non-bank financial service, and it'll be the first institution to trial Ripple's cryptocurrency. So it's a huge company, and I believe it's, it says, I think we're at the tipping point for the blockchain industry, and by using Ripple's virtual currency, they'll be able to lower the cost of payments from the US to Mexico. So that's big. If someone's willing to use Ripple right now and invest in it, that'll only, bring more companies into it and kind of increase that trust with Ripple. And among some of the companies, there's BBVA, which is a huge company, a huge bank in France. You can see the stock price is $127. So they're part of the RippleNet. I mean, you have all these Japan's MUFG Disk blockchain platform. I mean, you have all these companies. So there's definitely some, big names looking at it, and you can see it just keeps growing and growing. So that's why I think Ripple is, great for the future and for the long term. And then Business Wire hosted a conference, an article explaining Ripple's conference. And Business Wire is a Berkshire Hathaway company, which, as you know, Berkshire Hathaway is Warren Buffett's company, which he's the second richest man in the United States. And so for him, his company, Business Wire, to publish news on Ripple and, mention all these big names, and it's just getting more eyes to there. And then finally, we have CNBC mentioning Bitcoin's price hitting another record high above 5,800. So it's just saying, cryptocurrencies are coming, they're here to stay, and the World Bank president on Bitcoin, blockchain is something that everyone is excited about. So this is all great news, and why I think we're going to see some more rise in Ripple. As you can see, it's been on a nice steady channel the past couple days. While this looks like a lot, it's only a couple percent up and down. Where other altcoins were falling 10, 15%, Ripple's maintained its price, and it hasn't been too volatile lately, but I think it's been showing some bullish action. We can see here it's currently on an uptrend as we approach closer to the conference, and I believe we'll definitely start to see some higher price rise. A couple articles I was reading mentioned, the price could retouch its previous high of 39 cents. You can see here, if we go over, let me go ahead and switch it over here. So as you can see here, as it mentioned the news, we could see it rose to a high right here. It was almost 20,000 Satoshis, and that was in May. That was basically as they were, mentioning more news was coming out about it. So I believe that we'll definitely see this rise again. This was the rise of the conference. So as we come up, I believe we'll definitely touch this right here, this previous resistance level, 39. About 30 cents. But the high it had was 39 cents right here, and it got all the way up to 44. So it's definitely a coin to keep an eye on. Like I said, I believe we'll definitely see some rise in it in the future, and it's definitely something that can have a lot of growth. And depending on what goes on in this conference, people are saying it could hit $1. So it's not investment advice, but I definitely am positive on this coin and think it's a great long-term hold. So thanks for watching. If you have any questions, please like, comment, and subscribe. And until next time, see ya.